If you loved my Where in Tirana video, today you're in for a treat because we are taking that breakdown nationwide. I am covering 10 cities plus 2 bonus under the radar spots at the end, giving you the best vibes, pros and cons, and who each city is best suited for. Now, I've added timestamps in the description, so grab your coffee and let's dive in. Okay, so we have 10 cities plus 2 bonuses. I want to try to keep these as brief but cover as much as possible. So we're going to be breaking them down, okay? So the first city we have is Tirana, which is the capital, and this is going to be the baseline. This is going to be where I base everything else off of when I talk about distance, because this is more than likely where you're going to be coming in from. Some people might come in from the ferry, but for the most part, this is where you're going to be landing, okay? So this is going to be the baseline. So Tirana, the vibe here, it's a little bit multifaceted, right? So you have chaos, you have some modern, it's a little bit of a mix. Best for remote workers, help people with healthcare needs because of the hospitals. It's the best hospitals in the country. And people who are looking for more expat community. Now you'll find expat communities throughout Albania. They're not all in Tirana, but this is where you're gonna find the biggest group. Sell it, right? Best healthcare in the country, most co-working spaces and expat hangouts. And of course, this is gonna be where English is gonna be spoken the most as well. So tech and infrastructure, I've got everything written. There's no way I can remember all these, right? So internet, typical download speed, 70 to 90 megabytes per second. Typical upload, 20 to 35, okay? So fiber and cable connections are widely available in central and newer neighborhoods. Reliability, generally good. Occasional peak times, slowdowns, very old buildings with shared routers. I've noticed that sometimes it's like really slow. There's times where I will switch off my Wi-Fi and just go into my data just because it does slow down and I'm busy doing things. So, but for the most part, 98% of the time it's fine. Power outage, 2 out of 5. So 1 is never, 5 means outages happen all the time. So the frequency, 2 out of 5. So it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's very quick. For example, while putting this together right before I recorded and just getting my intro ready, there was a power outage. It lasted a whole 3 minutes. So they're infrequent compared to other smaller cities. Most are short, 5 to 20 minutes due to transformer switchovers or routine maintenance. Prolonged outages do happen during severe weather, but not the norm. We've had really nasty storms. I mean, as you can see from behind me here, the weather hasn't been the best. And we haven't had any outages other than that little 3-minute thing. So pros for Tirana, strong internet everywhere, most stable power of any Albanian city, lots of digital nomad infrastructure. The cons, traffic and noise. There's a lot of traffic. And construction in many neighborhoods, right? They're still like building, renovating. Average rent for a 1-bedroom, 450 to 900, depends on where you are in the city. A 2-bedroom, 600 to 1200. Now, again, depends on where you are. I'm in a 3-bedroom and I got 450. Now, with that said, I got this almost a year ago. Prices are going up fast. So I'm pretty confident when I say I don't think I would get this now. And when we renew, I'll let you know how that goes. City 2, Durrës. So where is it located? It's west of Tirana on the Adriatic coast. It's about 20 miles from the city center, 33 kilometers. Typical transport costs to get there, if you take the bus, it's 300 to 400 lek one way. Taxi, 30 to 40 one way from central Tirana. Durrës is a working seaside city with real urban population year round. It's a major port. There's beach areas, but it's far from a vacation-only town. It balances sea access and infrastructure, but without being like a resort town like Sarandë or big capital like Tirana. So it's kind of like the mix. It's best for people who want proximity to the sea, expats who still need easy access to Tirana, retirees who like a quieter routine, and commuters, remote workers who prioritize stability. So if you want that Mediterranean beauty first, this is less of that. and more everyday coastal life. Okay, so the pros: proximity to Tirana, so it's close, inexpensive transit. I think it's like 45 minutes away. And it's close enough for some medical services. So unless you need absolute urgent care and you need to be in the city, you can still get some of that coast and still have access to doctors not that far away. There's a year-round community. It's not a vacation or ghost town in the winter. Local economy is still active in off-season. Again, it's not a ghost town, right? Flat, walkable, easy. It's easy to get around on foot or bike. There's less steep hills and traffic compared to Tirana. So less traffic, less hills. Internet, it's good for remote work. So download speeds, typical 50 to 60 megabytes per second, upload 20 to 30. Comparable to smaller European cities and residential areas. Fiber is common in newer buildings and central zones. Mobile 4G, 5G can supplement in outer areas. It's not cutting edge globally, but reliable for Zoom streaming digital work. Power, 3 out of 5. There's short outages, common in summer storms or transformer maintenance. Some neighborhoods do see longer outages in winter or heat waves. The cons, the reality check of this: there's less nightlife, fewer cultural events than Tirana. Beaches are not pristine in all areas, more functional than touristy. Average rent, 1 bedroom to 3 to 600. 2 bedroom, 450 to 900. Next up, as we're making our way down the coast, we have Vlorë. So its location: southwest coast on the Adriatic-Ionian junction. Distance is about 150 kilometers or 93 miles from Tirana, about a 2.5-hour drive. Vibe: a port and university town, seaside charm, popular summer destination, quiet in winter, Mediterranean feel, scenic beaches nearby. It's best for summer-focused lifestyles, retirees seeking coastal living, people who want smaller town pace, but some urban conveniences. Pros: Mediterranean coast, plus the mountains are nearby, university town energy, cafes, small cultural events, growing expat interest, small but welcoming community. Now, Vlorë is where we would have went. I wanted Sarandë, and you're gonna see why. I'm so thankful I didn't. And after we started doing our research, after being here 6 months, and starting getting a feel for Tirana and the rest of the country, I'm glad I'm not in Sarandë. And I think Vlorë is where I would have went if it wasn't for my job here. With that said, I love Tirana. One of the perks that I do have here is the airport. We do want to be doing travel in 2026, and I like that I have airport access. They are supposed to open when they're... You guys can debate that down below, because there's a debate on that, on when that's going to come. So, internet, download 40 to 60 megabytes per second, upload 15 to 25 megabytes per second, mostly fiber in central areas, mobile backup is common. Power outage frequency, 3 to 4 out of 5. This was something that I found in my research too. Power goes down there a lot more, or it's out for longer. Recently, they had a water main line break, so the whole city was out of water. It affected some businesses. Summer storms and peak tourist season can also increase outages. Yeah, it was like New Year's Eve or something that they had the water outage. Cons: reality check, limited healthcare beyond classic basic clinics. Seasonal population spikes constrain services. So it's still growing, right? It's still adapting to that growth. Definitely potential for later on though. Rent: 1 bedroom, 250 to 500. A 2 bedroom is 4 to 8. So definitely a lot more affordable than here. Next, Shkodër. Location: northern Albania, near Lake Shkodër and Montenegro. Distance: 100 kilometers, 62 miles from Tirana. The vibe: quiet, historic town with strong Albanian identity. Great for nature lovers, lake, mountains, smaller expat presence, but very welcome. Best for digital nomads who value peaceful surroundings, outdoor enthusiasts, hiking, kayaking, lakeside activities, people looking for low-cost living. I did a quiz. I created one. It's on my Patreon. I'll talk about that in a little bit further in the video. But this is where it's suggested for me to go. This was my #1 spot. This and then Vlorë are the 2 cities that it recommended for me that I would be happy in. It sounds like a beautiful place. We haven't been there yet, but I definitely want to go this year. So we will be doing a video on that when we do go. Pros, natural beauty, proximity to mountains, affordable living, cheaper than Tirana and coastal cities, authentic Albanian culture, slower pace. Internet, download speeds 25 to 50 megabytes per second, upload 10 to 20, fiber in central areas, mobile network supplement. Power outage, 3 out of 5. Occasional longer outages in winters or storms. That's fair. Cons, reality check, limited co-working, expat infrastructure, fewer English-speaking services. I mean, is that a con? I like that there's a lot of English in Tirana, but also I love being somewhere, like it was like that in China. I love being somewhere where there's a lot more local language because then I feel like I'm living abroad. Rent, 3 to 5 euros per square meter. 1 bedroom, 2 to 400, 2 bedroom, 350 to 7. So definitely cheaper. I just want to take a quick update before we continue. So I do have some exciting news. I have officially joined the YouTube Partner Program. And to celebrate, I'm launching membership. It's a small way to support the channel, and it also gives you a loyalty badge and priority replies from me in the comments. I'm so excited to finally offer this to you guys. Next, we have Vlorë. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Town. The distance is 120 kilometers. It's about 75 miles from Tirana. The vibe, picturesque historical architecture, white Ottoman houses, hilltop castle, very quiet, tourist heavy in summer, slow paced, romantic and charming, best for expats wanting cultural immersion, artists, writers, remote workers seeking calm inspiration. It's safe, affordable living, and stunning scenery and historical sites. Internet, download 30 to 50 megabytes per second, upload 10 to 20. It's a little slower. Power outage frequency, 3 out of 5, usually short interruption. Cons, reality check, limited nightlife and social infrastructure, small medical facilities, rent for 1 bedroom, 200 to 350, 2 bedroom, 350 to 6. Next city. Now, I know that the J makes a Y sound, so Gjirokastër. So it's in southern Albania. It's also a UNESCO town. It's near the Greek border. The vibe, historic Ottoman architecture, cobblestone streets. Quiet, almost village-like outside tourist season. Steep hills, not ideal if you dislike walking up slopes. Best for history lovers and photographers, expats who want small town immersive experience, people seeking quiet, slow-paced life. I would love this. Okay, this sounds like probably my dream place, except for the hills. I climb one here every day and I curse at it every time I do. So I don't think I'd be able to live there. I would love to visit though. Pros, stunning castle views, authentic Southern Albanian culture, very low cost of living. Internet, download 25 to 40 megabytes per second, upload 5 to 15. Fiber, mostly in town center, mobile networks needed elsewhere. Power, 3 to 4 out of 5. Storms and mountainous terrain occasionally cause longer outages. Cons, reality check, limited healthcare, 1 hospital, and basic clinics, which is fair. Very small expat community and co-working presence. Rent, a 1 bedroom is 150 to 300, and a 2 bedroom is 250 to 500. So before we continue, I know that this is a lot of information and very overwhelming, especially when you combine this with the where in Tirana. So even if you nail down the city that you want to go to, what neighborhood do you go to? There's so much information. And if you're not going to Tirana and you're looking at the rest of the country, where do you go? Again, so much information. So what I have done is I have made 2 interactive quizzes for you. The first one is the neighborhood quiz. This one here is for the people who want to go to Tirana. You put in your budget, things like traffic, noise, green space, things that are important to you, walking distance, having things around you, that kind of thing, and it'll match you to the best neighborhood based on your needs. The second one that I've also done for those who don't want to go to Tirana but not too sure where in the country you want to go, it takes a short quiz, 15, 17 questions, and from there we'll look at climate, your budget, how walking uphill, infrastructure, your needs basically. And then from there, it'll give you a result. It'll email you a result with your top city match along with an alternative. And with that match, you're also going to get a score. So you could see how close of a match that city is for your needs. So I know this is all so overwhelming, and I wanted to create something that would make this process a little bit easier for you. Now, they're not guaranteed this is where you're going to be happy, but it'll help give you a starting point, something to look at. You can find both of those quizzes over on my Patreon. I'll put the link down below. As a Patreon member on that tier, you also get access to my coupons for Airbnbs, travels, tour packages, car rentals, that kind of thing. That's all on there as well. And those are for our Patreon members. And you get all that for less than 2 coffees a month. All right, so let's get back in with number 7, Sarandë. Now, this is the city that usually attracts people. So, where it's located, southwest coast, Ionian Sea, near the Greek islands. Like, come on. Distance, 280 kilometers, 175 miles from Tirana. So it's about a 5-6 hour drive. The vibe, so tourist heavy in the summer, right? It's a summer destination. Vibrant beachfront nightlife in the high season and quiet off season, but the infrastructure drops. So it's a ghost town in the winter. Best for beach lovers, seasonal rental properties, tourists, and expats who want summer-focused lifestyles. So pros, Mediterranean climate and beautiful beaches. Some restaurants and services are geared to foreigners because it's a tourist city. English widely spoken in the touristy areas. Internet speed, 30 to 50 megabytes per second. Upload, 10 to 20 megabytes per second. Fiber only in town centers. Mobile backup elsewhere. Power outage frequency, 3 to 4 out of 5. Summer peak season constrain local electricity. So it's definitely going to be worse in this summer. Cons, reality check. Off season can feel dead. Expensive compared to inland towns during summer. So in the summer, prices go up. Limited healthcare, travel to Vlorë, Tirana for serious issues. Okay, and the other thing for me that I found during my research, it's not mentioned here, but during my research is that Sarandë is called the city of stairs. So there's a lot of hills, there's a lot of stairs, so if you prefer flat terrain, this is not going to be the place for you. So next, Korçë. So location, southeastern Albania, near the Greek border. Distance, 170 kilometers, 105 miles from Tirana, so 3.5 hour drive. The vibe, cultural hub, arts, coffee culture, university town, cooler climate, snowy winters are possible. Small city with urban comforts. Best for expats who love art, music, local traditions, families seeking calmer pace than Tirana, people wanting authentic urban Albanian life. Okay. Pros, rich history and cultural events, affordable living and groceries, good schools, family-friendly neighborhoods. Internet, download speeds is 35 to 60 megabytes per second. Upload, 15 to 25 megabytes per second. Fiber mostly central, and there's mobile is good elsewhere. Power, outage frequency, 3 out of 5. We've seen worse, right? Winter snow occasionally disrupts service. Cons, reality check, fewer co-working spaces and expat services, less international vibe. The rent, 3 to 6 euros per square foot. 1 bedroom, 2 to 400 euros, and a 2 bedroom, 350 to 700. Number 9 on our list is Fier. So location, southwest Albania, inland from the coast. It's about 100 kilometers, so 62 miles from Vlorë. Vibe, industrial, agricultural city, low-key, functional urban life. It's less touristy than coastal towns. Best for families and locals looking for affordable life. Expats who want very low cost of living. Base for exploring southern Albania. Pros, affordable housing and groceries. It's close to an archaeological site. And it's a practical city with minimal tourist hype. So internet, download 30 to 50 megabytes per second, upload 10 to 20 megabytes per second, fiber central, mobile elsewhere. Power outage frequency, 3 out of 5. So limited English speaking community, few modern amenities or co-working spaces, and the rent, 1 bedroom, 150 to 300 euros, and a 2 bedroom is 250 to 500 euros. Finally, last but definitely not least, I butcher this every time I say it, Pogradec. Is how it's spelled, but not how it's pronounced. Pogradec. So location, So Eastern Albania, it's on a lake near northern Macedonia. Distance 140 kilometers, so 87 miles from Tirana. The vibe, small scenic lakeside town. Relaxed, slow-paced, but tourist-friendly in the summer. Excellent nature and fresh air environment. Best for retirees who want that quiet life. Nature lovers, hiking, boating, lakefront. Pros, stunning lake views. Clean, calm environment. Affordable and very low crime. And it's affordable. Internet, download 25 to 40 megabytes per second. Upload 5 to 15 megabytes per second. Power outage frequency, 3 to 4 out of 5. So winter snow or storms can disrupt the power. So the cons and reality check here, limited healthcare, small expat community. For me, I'm gonna add the weather. I find Tirana is a little cold for my liking. I'd like to go where it's warmer, not colder, but I mean, that's a personal preference. So under the radar options, so like I said, I have 2 extra cities here. Now, first one, Elbasan. So central Albania, inland between Tirana and Berat. So the distance is 40 kilometers from Tirana, so about 50 miles. The vibe, quiet small town with a slow practical pace, surrounded by natures, rivers, hills, farmland, almost no tourism, so you have that authentic Albanian life. Best for retirees seeking a calm and low cost of living, digital nomads who value peace, natural scenery, and affordable rent, people wanting a base to explore central Albania. So pros, low cost of living, it's cheapest housing outside the big city. Reliable community connections, friendly locals, easy access to Tirana or Elbasan for services, shopping, healthcare. Internet, download 30 to 50 megabytes per second, upload 10 to 20. Fiber, mostly central, mobile, 4G, reliable throughout. Power outage, frequency, 2 to 3. So short, infrequent, mostly maintenance related. Cons, reality check, limited entertainment or co-working spaces. Small grocery stores, few international products, best suited for people who like the quiet life. And then our second bonus, we have Krujë. Again, might be butchering that, I'm so sorry. North of Tirana, about 30 kilometers, 18 miles from the capital. Famous for its castles and historical bazaar. The vibe, small historic hill town with spectacular views, mix of local Albanian life and light tourism, mostly day trippers. Slow pace, but accessible to urban service. And best for retirees, wanting charm, history, and tranquility. Digital nomads who want inspiration and a quieter environment, but don't want to be cut off. People who appreciate walking streets, markets, and small town feel. Pros, very walkable, it's safe, it's scenic. Affordable living compared to Tirana. Easy day trip to Tirana, the beaches, the mountains. So internet, 40 to 60 megabytes per second. Upload 15 to 25. Mobile backup reliable. Power, 2 to 3 out of 5. Usually short, but sometimes you get the longer ones, but it's more rare. Cons, reality check. Limited co-working options, mostly cafes for remote work. It's a small town, so nightlife and entertainment are minimal. Rent, 1 bedroom, 2 to 400, 2 bedroom, 350 to 700. I hope this gives you a realistic picture of where you might want to live, work, or explore. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button so other people can find this video as well. Plus, don't forget, my Patreon has those interactive quizzes, plus exclusive perks if you want to dive down even further for less than 2 coffees per month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.